With us now is Congressman Pete Sessions, a Republican from Texas. He's on the House Oversight Committee that released this letter. Congressman Sessions, thanks so much for being with us. As always, when it comes to the Epstein case, what do you think is a dead issue? What's a dead issue to you?
Well, John, let's be quite honest about this. Both Republicans and Democrats are on the case. We are going to receive information. It's not going to be necessarily a release in 30 days that we were pushed to just a week ago. It is going to be a meticulous investigation that Republicans and Democrats will work together. I re-spoke to my ranking member, Mr. Mfume, just last week, and I said, just so you know, I don't know all the briefings that our colleagues that are Democrats receive, but at any time you are not receiving the data, information, and timely dissemination of information, you need to let me know. It's all I can do as part of James Comer's team to make sure that we are working together. So, what do I think about it? I think that what we've got to do is to continue our investigation. We want the truth. I want to be able to answer questions, and we're going to get there.
Again, what's a dead issue then? Anything?
Well, no, there's no dead issue. We're working, and I'm sorry, John, I did not directly say. We are continuing this investigation on a bipartisan basis, looking at data, looking at information, and there are a lot of questions we still have, and we're working to that end.
Okay, so it is not a dead issue, you say, which is not what the president just said. Let's talk about that letter in the birthday book.
Well, it might be for the president, but it is not for Congress that just now received the information.
Well, okay, so it's not a dead issue for you. I mean, it is a dead issue for the president. What does that tell you about his level of curiosity about the Epstein investigation?
Well, it's hard for me to know what the last four presidents have looked at in this whole issue. It is brand new to Congress to begin its review of the documents and ask questions. The presidents probably worked through this a long time ago. They had the knowledge, they had the data, they had the information. He can draw a conclusion after 6 months. I have not drawn that conclusion yet.
Does it look like his signature to you on the bottom of that letter?
You know, we're looking at that. We're also looking at people who are gathering together his signature at the time. And that's what we need to pay attention to. We've been provide the information. Now what we need to do is draw our own conclusion.
So to you, it's an open question about whether that's his signature on this document.
Well, evidently the president, who was not under oath, stated it was not his. The White House has stated that. So we will start from that perspective unless proven otherwise. But this is simply a small part of the entire questions. We need to put together this information. Why did the last, in essence, four presidents not move forward on this? Where is the evidence? What is the scope of the entire matter? And we're still looking at that. We've had them now about 10 days. John, and I will tell you, we are beginning what will be a bipartisan effort, but it is not aimed at Donald Trump.
Understood.
It's aimed at the truth. How did these things happen? So I know people want to go specifically to Donald Trump, and there's a lot of drumbeat on the Hill by my colleagues that are Democrats to do that. We're after the larger sense to answer questions.
And I do get that belief, listening to you, especially when you talk about your conversations with the ranking member, Mfume, on this. But why did you just bring up that the White House, when they said it wasn't his signature, why did you raise the issue of them not being under oath? Why would that be important?
Well, all I'm saying is that we will look at the data and then decide what further we need if we think that that it's not representative of Donald Trump or is representative of Donald Trump. We have taken at face value what has been said. So I don't think that our investigation right now is trying to focus on that at all.
One question on the economy. The jobs numbers that have been coming back have been anemic. Right. June was revised downward to actually a loss of jobs. You were getting growth each month in the 20s of thousands. How concerned are you right now of manufacturing jobs down? Young people are having a hard time finding jobs. How concerned are you about the current state of the economy?
I am very concerned, and this is where any president, any board of governors for the Fed, and even the Supreme Court, although they will rule on the facts of law, I am concerned about this, and if it's truthful, we need to look at the policies that we have. Some people have suggested it's a number of issues. I think it's related to, perhaps you do too, in this battle that the president is having about interest rates, about whether we're going to have new starts, about whether we're going to allow people, just like my son, who bought a home this last weekend, darn near 7% interest rates, but he got the house he wanted, and then we'll make some accommodations later. It is keeping people away from jobs. It is keeping people away from builders that build buildings, that build homes. And we need to know what the truth is.
Congressman Pete Sessions, congratulations to your son on his new home. I hope you help him furnish it nicely. People with new homes, they need some help. Thank you for your time this morning, Congressman.
You bet.